You're in your 50s, single, and you own your own house. Why would you not retire? Or at least think about it. I don't get it. I cannot tell you how many people I talk to on a regular basis who are single. They own their own house. They're in their mid-50s. They have a decent size of portfolio. $250,000, $300,000 maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But I'm sitting there thinking, why would you not consider it? Most single people in their 50s who I talk to just don't spend that much money. They just don't. They travel light. Now, I can't speak on behalf of women because I'm a guy, as hopefully we can now acknowledge that men are men and women are women. I know it's crazy. I should get banned for making that statement. Hate speech. But as a man who is not just my lived experience, but as a man who's dealt with, I've been doing financial planning since 1998, man. I've had tons of clients of all stretches of sorts and characters and whatnot. Tons. And once you hit your 50s, late 50s and stuff, your days of going crazy are just behind you, man. You're just not spending that much. Now, I've talked to a lot of women who go on these single women cruises or something like that, where they join other women and go on these travel things, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool. They might spend $5,000 to $10,000, probably not for $10,000, $5,000 a year for, let's say 10 years or so while they're doing that. And I think that's a great thing to do. I've talked to so many women who've done that. They develop pretty good relationships with people through these single women travel groups. Men, generally speaking, we're not as social as that. Men, generally speaking, have a couple buddies to watch the football with, maybe go fishing with and drink some beers. But we're not really, I want to take my boys to go on a cruise. Men aren't really like that so much. Maybe gay guys are, but, most men aren't. They're just that's kind of weird. So most men are just I'll go on a fishing cruise or something like that. But I'm not really going to, go out of my way to have to do some elaborate event with a bunch of dudes. Men really don't do that. But will a man, try to, do something nice if it appeals to a woman that he's trying to, have a relationship with? Absolutely. If he's dating, he might say, hey, let's do this nice cruise. But he's not doing it because a man really wants to. Again, I guarantee there are men who go on hunting trips, men go on fishing trips. I get all that. But what I'm saying is, generally speaking, most guys aren't going to be spending $10,000 a year on that kind of stuff. Most single guys, that is. I'm just telling you right now, they won't. Oh, but I get it, man. There's always an anecdote, always an observation of someone who did differently. So basically, but what I find is the people I've talked to, and again, that's just my observation. It doesn't mean it's science, because the science is so legit, right? But my observation is when you're single, you just don't spend that much. I cannot tell you how many people who are living out just on a 2-bed, 1-bath house, Missouri or Ohio or something like that. They're raising some chickens. They might have some freaking vegetables out there, or they're living in a condo in Atlanta or something like that. And they're just content, man. They just don't spend that much money. So how much they spend? Well, let's say they spend $50,000 a year. Let's say you got, for simplicity, $500,000. All right, I'm just using that for an example. And we'll say you get no growth in that $50,000, which is probably in the high end for many single people. Let's just say that includes your $5,000 to $10,000 a year of vacay. All right, so you're 58 years old. You're going to take Social Security between 62 and 67. We'll just use 65 right now. We'll say you would take it at 65, so it'll be reduced a little bit down to $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year of Social Security. Your Medicare will eat $500 of that, maybe $400, maybe $600, depending on what state you live. We'll just say $500. So you're going to walk out every month with $2,500 net of Social Security or net of Medicare. That's $30,000 a year, man. And that needs to cover your homeowners insurance, your property tax. If you have your maintenance on your vehicle, maintenance on your home, it's got to cover your food, it's got to cover your cable bill. It's got to cover your YouTube subscription, so you can give me a super chat, huh? It's got to cover all that stuff. And you're like, all right, well, that's not light cigars and $100 bills. No, but you're still doing okay. And you got a house that's paid for. I was talking to this guy just yesterday. I said, look, man, at the end of the day, his numbers don't look great. My numbers don't look great. But I was like, are we really going to be spending this kind of money when you're in the 80s? I highly suspect you won't. And you got a house that's paid for. Come on, man. Let's not be, you don't have any kids. It's like, let's not delay the inevitability of that you're not liking your job anymore. So you can, at some point, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and say, I'm gonna move on, man. I'm gonna enjoy the limited time I have left, because time keeps on ticking. Time. As who does that song? I can't remember who does that song? The Something Brothers or something like that. I can't remember. That's a great song though. Time? No, not time. Time keeps on ticking. It's Steve Miller. Who's it? Time. The Everly Brothers? No, it's not the Chamberlain Brothers, I think. I think it's the Chamberlain Brothers. It's weird if you look at them, and whoever sings that, I love that dude's voice. They got like one white guy in the band. I think he's the drummer, I think. I always wonder, like, how'd that guy get involved with the Chamberlain Brothers? I always thought that was kind of interesting. Anyway, so I'm sitting there thinking, all right, so you got $500,000. You're going to spend $50,000 a year. Assume you get no growth. Your money runs out by 2000 by the time you're 68 years old, 1958, you're 58 till you're 68 years old. Then you're living on Social Security at $3,000 a month, $2,500 a month net of Medicare, and you're already in your late 60s, early 70s. Is that, I mean, really? And then if you need to, you take reverse mortgage on your house. You can, you cash out, refinance. I just don't think that's a good move to do, because it's a debt. You still got to pay a debt, and you got to pay it back. So basically, cash out, refinance. You're taking the equity out of your house, but you're increasing your outflow because of the mortgage you got to pay back. I just say do a reverse mortgage instead. But either way, come on, man. Are you really serious saying, I'm going to be a 71-year-old, spinster, and I need $50,000 a year? And I'm like, why? You live in freaking, I don't know, you got your house paid for, you live in Springfield, Missouri. I mean, what could you possibly be doing as a 71-year-old lady who's single with $50,000 a year? Well, yeah, exactly. All right, God bless. Love your thoughts. Don't forget to smash that like button. We'll see you.